The FUT Champions Cup Stage 1 has come to a close this weekend, with Tekkz of Fnatic claiming top spot over dozens of other competitors. Some of the best FIFA players in the world were present at Bucharest in Romania, where the prize pool totaled $200,000 USD. Of those present, MSDOSSARY'S and MOAUBA'S should ring a few bells. These two players have dominated the competition over the past few years, taking home top spot on more than one occasion. For MSDOSSARY'S, the fight through group stages wasn't without its stumble. The first round was a relative sweep against ISO Power, with MSDOSSARY'S claiming the match 5-1. Round 2 was the stumble against none other than Megabit. These two have fought it out plenty of times, and it was Megabit that claimed the match. Thankfully for MSDOSSARY'S, the last 3 matches were all victories, granting him access to the knockout rounds. Unfortunately, this momentum didn't stick, as he was knocked out by Spider Kong in the first matchup. As for MOAUBA'S, he wasn't quite able to gain the same kind of traction he found at the O2 in London. The first round saw a defeat against Maestro, another name that should be immediately familiar. While rounds 2 and 3 were both victories for MOAUBA'S, rounds 4 and 5 were both defeats. This was enough to prevent advancements to the knockout rounds. As for Tekk's performance through the group stages, the young man looked to have a grand old time. First up was Goal Machine, who Tekkz swept away 4-2. The next 2 rounds saw Tekkz face off against Phil SKS and Megabit, claiming victory 5-2 and 4-2 respectively. Tekkz absolutely crushed the next round against Mino7X, strutting away from the field with a 6-0 win. The final round before the knockout stages was against NR7. This was one of the closest matches for Tekkz, but he still managed a 2-1 victory. The knockout stages were also seemingly a breeze for Tekkz. The first match against Sakul was a 3-1 victory in Tekkz's favor. The next 2 matches against Phil and Spider Kong saw Tekkz dominate 4-0 in both. The last player standing in the way of the grand finale was Lyrics. This was a close matchup, with Game 1 resulting in a 1-all draw and Game 2 a 1-0 victory for Tekkz. This was just enough to get him over the line and into the grand finale. Waiting for him there was Fafilza. Fafilza's fight through the knockout stages was a little closer than Tekkz. #Harry and Crazy Fat Gamer were both knocked out by Fafilza 1-0, but Ustin put up a fight, though still fell 2-1. There was some fun to be had against Yago, the last remaining player before the grand finale. Fafilza dominated, taking the matchup 6-2. The grand final match was here, and it was a sight to be seen. Tekkz and Fafilza both took to the field with fervor. In Game 1, Tekkz took the victory 1-0 after a truly nail-biting performance. Heading into Game 2, Fafilza needed to match and beat the number of goals Tekkz scored, but unfortunately that wasn't the case. Tekkz was able to secure 2 goals to Fafilza's 0, bringing the total goals across both matches to 3-0. And with that, an epic weekend of football came to a close. Congratulations to Tekkz, who has walked away with first place and a cold, hard $50,000 USD. We can't wait to see all the competitors at the next event.